Okay, so you are being recorded, just so you know, and this video will be posted. So if you're not comfortable with that, just turn off your video, and your face won't be seen. And if you're not comfortable being recorded, don't speak. I mean, you can post something in the chat window. That doesn't get recorded. But I just want to make sure everybody knows you're going to be recorded and posted online for the students. We're not going to be doing anything too sensitive in here, so I don't think it'll matter, but just so you know. Now, I'm going to share my screen, and I'm going to show you how to get to your sites. Let's see. And can you see my screen?
Yes.
Yes.
Cool.
Little Google thing.
Yeah, I'm on a Google page. All right, good. So you can see my screen. All right. So if we go to designcruise.com, you will see there's a site that's newly set up that doesn't do anything yet, because I put a site there too, but I haven't used it. But if you go to designcruise.com/yourfirstname with a capital letter, yeah, see the website there, you're going to see the same thing. So let me go to a test site that I just set up. So I'm going to pretend my name is Test. I'm going to go to /test. And so when you go to designcruise.com/yourfirstname, first letter capitalized, you should see a screen just like this one. Website coming soon with an admin login button. Do you guys, those of you who are following along, do you see that? Don't be shy.
Yes. Yes.
Okay. Is there anybody that can't get to this page? And if you're not following along, that's okay. But if you're trying to follow along and you can't get there. So
I'm just
when you
trying
see
to
this,
watch, to be honest. I'll try it though if this is going to be recorded.
pardon me?
Sorry.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear what you said.
Oh, I was just going to say I just joined. I apologize for joining late.
Oh, it's okay.
Can you
Who
hear
is
me
that?
now?
Who is that that's speaking?
Pamela, can you hear me?
I can hear you. Thank you, Pamela.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, Pamela, I apologize for joining late. I haven't tried it. I'm just watching. Thanks.
That's okay. Okay, so
I can't open a browser while I'm seeing your screen,
oh really?
but that's all right.
Oh, okay, that's a shame.
So I think I can get to. I looked at Design Cruise before. I looked at it the other day, so
Okay.
I'm sure I could get to the page.
Yeah, okay.
I was
Well,
able to.
you don't have to follow along, but it'll be more fun
You're
if
on a Mac.
you don't have to follow along in real time, but it'll be fun.
I'm using a second computer.
I actually, yeah,
I'm
I
just
have.
using a second computer.
Oh, you can do that too. You could also use a tablet. Okay, so when you get to your page here, that would normally be your website. Because it hasn't been set up, you see a page that says website coming soon. So the admin login button is how you can log in. And so I'm going to click on that. And again, for those who joined late, we went to designcruise.com/yourfirstname with a capital letter. It's your first name as listed in the Cabrillo role. That's what the accounts are set up under. And I'm on a test account, but it's the same thing. It's a freshly set up account. So your login and password. Okay, so your login is simply your first name with the first initial capital. So if my first name was Test, I'm going to do that. Now, your passwords, I emailed you your discussion forum password, and it was probably one simple word.
Yes.
I tried not to make it too difficult. And that is part of your password for WordPress here. So if, for example, your forum password that I emailed to you is blah, right? Then, and that will be all lowercase. then your password here would be blah 1A with the A capitalized. So if you add the number 1 and the capital letter A to your password that you got previously, that is your password for the WordPress site. That's how that works. So my password, I probably should have written it down. Let's see if I just set this up, so let's see if I remember it. I'm gonna block it out here so you don't see it. So again, your password is the password that I gave you for the discussion forum, all lowercase, it's probably one word. And then you append the number 1 and the capital letter A. And that should get you into your WordPress site, your dashboard. Uh-oh. Maybe I didn't remember my own password.
So it was the number 1 and the letter A?
Yes,
Capital letter A.
Oh,
capital
perfect.
letter A.
Got me in.
Capital letter A because WordPress required at
Got me
least
in.
one capital. Oh, not letting me in here, huh?
Okay, that got me in.
Yeah, I wish it would get me in.
That worked.
I may have to reset my own password here. Let's just see. I have another demo account I can try.
I share my screen, but it's a different computer.
Okay, we're gonna try something a little different.
Can't get in with that either.
Mine worked.
Who said they couldn't?
Okay,
Who said
mine
they
didn't
couldn't
work.
get in?
I'll try again though.
Who said they couldn't get in?
Amanda.
No, can't get in.
Amanda.
Amanda.
And Pamela,
Amanda.
I got in.
Has everybody been able to get in?
I
no,
have not
Working on
tried.
Who
I
can't?
have a question.
Who can't get in? Let me know who it is. Who can't get in, and I can double check your account.
Bob can't get in.
Bob can't get in.
Can you
Okay,
hear me?
Bob, what's your last name? Is it Rococo? Rocco, rather?
R-O-C-C-O. Rocco.
Okay, so your login name would be Robert with a capital R. And your
Yep.
password would be the password I sent out to you with the number 1 and then the capital letter A appended to the end of it. Does that work?
Okay.
Should get you in.
No, I'm using an iPad. I'm using an iPad as a supplement. Is that okay?
Oh, sure. Should still let you in, though.
An uppercase A or lowercase A?
Uppercase A.
Capital A.
So,
Didn't get in.
and mine isn't working either, sir.
okay, so let me take one person who's not working and give it a try on this end. I'm going to set up another, let me just, without revealing any
I
password.
got in. I just got in.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they're all set up the same way.
I
So,
just got in. It was a little slow.
okay, so I'm going to go to designcruise.com / Robert, were you able to get in? Bob?
Yes.
I'm going to try yours.
Hello?
Hello?
Can you hear me?
I can. Who's this?
Yes.
I can hear people, but I don't know who they
I'm
are.
Yesu. I'm Yesu. Hi.
Hi.
Yes.
Okay,
Hello.
Robert?
Okay, so I haven't gotten my password.
Okay, so let me start with one person and just double check this stuff. So I'm going to start with Robert. Bob, are you there? He was there. Did he just disappear?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Now, can you
No,
at
I'm
least
here.
get this far when you put /Robert with a capital R? Do you get to this page?
Yes.
Okay, so now I'm gonna. Okay,
yeah,
I'm
I
gonna.
got there.
I'm gonna try to log in as you. And I'm not gonna reveal your password. And if I do, I'll just reset it to something else. But let me try this. I want to see if this works right. Okay. Wow, the connection's really slow here. I'm just waiting. Okay. Oh, there we go. All right. So now your login name would be Robert with a capital R. Have you gotten this far?
Yep.
Okay. I'm trying the password that I set up for you. And if it works, then you're just putting the wrong one in and I'll tell you what it is. Yay, I see you say you haven't gotten your password. Yay, did you get your password for the discussion forum that I sent you?
No.
No? Oh, okay, you missed an email. All right.
No. So I'm taking your DM60 class.
Oh,
and
you
I
have, oh,
already
I'm
have
sorry.
the-
You fall into a special category because you already had the account. Ah, okay. I did send you an email with the different.
Yeah.
Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to privately to some of you in the chat. Okay, Robert, your password that I gave you does work because I just got in as you. So what I'm going to do is send you in a private chat
Oh,
what your password is. So let me log out of here. How can I, let's see.
okay.
I'm going to log out as you. I logged in as you. I'm logging out as you. All right. So, and I'll do this for everybody else too. So let me, so if you can't get in, just hold your horses a sec. Okay, let's see. So Bob, that's your password. It should be your forum password with a 1A appended to it. Do you see it in the chat window?
Yeah, that's the one I used.
It just worked for me. I got in as you saw, and I just logged out. So give it a try again. And it does
Okay.
work. I just did it. Okay, so now who else can't get in? Yay, you said you couldn't get in?
No.
Okay, in a private message,
Hello?
I'm sending you your password.
Okay.
Just a sec. Bear with us because this does take a little time. Okay. Yay, that's your password. So your login would be your first name with a capital Y, and then that's your password. See if you can get in to that. And it's designcruise.com/your first name with a
Okay.
capital Y. And if you can't get in, let me know. I'll test it. Who else can't get in? Everybody else is not having trouble?
Professor Goski, I got in after multiple attempts.
Okay. Sorry about that, but it
I'm
should
good,
work.
thank you.
It should work if you put the right stuff in. You know, computers. What can I say?
No, it was my fault. Yeah, I had the login instead of my name.
Oh, okay. So the bottom line is when you get
Thank
in.
you.
Oh, sure, no problem. It's always a little rough at the beginning. So write down that password. It's the same as your discussion forum password with a 1A attached to it, and the A is capital. Except for two students, which was Rebecca and
Okay.
Ye, because they're in another class of mine, so they already had a different login for the discussion forum. All right, good. So I'm going to make sure everybody can get in who wants to get in. Is there anybody else who I need to test their account and check a password? No?
I
Okay.
can't get in.
Who's that? Lakshmana? Who said that?
Yeah, that's one.
Okay, let me test yours real fast. What's your last name? I'm looking for you in the.
CODY, Cody.
Oh, you're all the way up there. Okay. Okay, so let me test yours. Am I spelling your name right? That's the question.
Yeah, there are only 3 A's, and people love to add extra syllables to my name too. It's a weird.
Well, did I spell that right?
I don't know. LAKS. It's on the screen.
LAKSHMANA. Is that right? I got that right?
Yes.
Okay, so let me test the password now. Oh, maybe there's a problem. Let's try it again. It's LAK.
You've got Robert still in here.
LAKSH, M as in mother, A, N as in Nancy, A.
Yeah, okay.
The last A.
John,
Who said that?
John, you're trying to log into the wrong
Yeah, you're
domain.
still in
Oh,
Robert.
I still have
Amanda.
Robert's
You've got
name here.
Robert
Sorry,
in there.
thanks. Okay,
Yeah.
thank you. That makes sense. No wonder I keep trying to crash Robert's account. Okay, all right. There we go. Now let me test your. Thank you. No wonder I couldn't get in. I think your
I'm locked
password.
out.
I'm gonna test it. Well, it didn't. No. Oh wait, it defaulted back to Robert. What the hell? Let's just try a new window.
Browser cache.
Yeah.
Okay, hopefully I'm spelling this right. So far, so good.
Yay.
I heard a yay. That means somebody got in.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, if you can't log into your site, it's a showstopper. So I got to go through this with everybody. So let's just make sure. All right, Lakshmi, I'm gonna see if I can. And yes, I am typing it. Okay. Wish me luck. Hasn't shaken its head at me yet. Why everything's so darn slow today? Come on.
Hello.
Kerchunk.
Hello.
Maybe, hello, somebody
Hello.
join us.
Hi.
I hear somebody. Oh, you're on the phone.
Yes,
You knew I can mute
teacher.
you.
I am Clara Thomas
I'm going to mute you, Clara. There we go.
because
Sorry. Now you can talk and we won't have to hear you. I'm still waiting for this. It's what's the deal here? Come on, you can do it. Come on. Anyway, in the meantime, I'm privately sending you your password. Tell me if that's what you're using. Lakshman?
I think my screen crashed. I don't know. I can't see most of the screen anymore. I need to close this.
It's in the chat window.
I think you might need to click on the chat, Lakshmana.
The chat window's not even there, so I need to restart Zoom anyway.
Oh, okay, you can do that. Technological glitches. Yeah, there seems to be some kind of slowdown here. Come on, what's going on here? Let's try clicking again.
While we wait, may I ask a quick question about our
Sure.
discussion posts?
Good questions. Yes.
Thanks. I was just wondering. Okay, thanks. We are supposed to post weekly a new topic, correct? But we're also supposed to respond to other students?
Uh-huh.
Okay. Is there a number? Okay.
Yeah,
I didn't catch that when I did the first assignment, apparently.
Yeah, sorry, everything's a little loose right now, but what I would like is if everybody would post at least twice a week. And right now,
Okay.
as long as you're posting something relevant to the topic of WordPress, whether it's a troubleshooting question or answering somebody else's question, or I'm in. So Lakshman, that works. So you're you're back, right? Okay, so I tested your password. That does work.
I don't know. I'm not good.
Pardon?
I don't know. Something's really messed up right now. And
Okay, but anyway, I sent you the password in the private chat.
I heard that.
It's the same as your discussion forum one with a 1A
You see-
appended. Do you want me to send it to you again?
Yeah,
Sure,
that's what I was trying
caps
to use
lock.
earlier. No, hold on. I'm not even. I don't know what's going on right now. So I'm still new. I'm still fairly new to Zoom. I've only been using it for a week now.
It's okay.
Well, Lakshmana, if you scroll down with your cursor above the bottom of the screen, you'll see a toolbar and there's a little chat thing that you could, a little chat icon that you could click on. Oh, he disappeared.
I think he's rebooting his something. Okay, so
Okay.
I'm going to now log
People
in.
using a phone, you have to tap your screen and then you look at the menu.
I'm
Say
sorry,
that
Ann, I
again,
think you
Ann?
said
For
something, but
people using a phone, you need to tap the phone screen and it'll bring up the menus.
right, it's very difficult to do Zoom on a
Doing
phone.
Zoom.
It's not really that great. All right,
Every
so
interface is different. Every
Yeah.
interface is a different way of doing things.
It's true.
okay, so for some reason things. Oh, okay, I'm getting in. So we're going to do a little test drive. We're going to go around the block with WordPress, show you some basics of the dashboard. We're not going to go for 3 hours tonight. I'm going to go an hour, hour and a half maybe. We'll see what people want to do. What I'd like to do is do 2 of these sessions a week, maybe an hour and a half at different times, and they'll all be videoed for everybody. All right, log in with WordPress.com. No.
And Professor Gotsky, will these videos, if we can't make it because I'm on the East Coast, will they be stored somewhere like on the discussion forum?
They're actually on a newly created YouTube channel that I have. And why don't I do that right now?
Oh,
Let me
great.
show you. So if you go to YouTube and you just put Teacher John in the search, it should be like one of the first ones. That
Okay.
comes up. So I'll show you that right now, just so people know where these are going to be. So while I'm waiting for the stupid word.
John, how long do you think after the session's recorded, how long do you think it might take for it to for you to get it onto YouTube?
It'll
for
be
each
there
session?
tonight or tomorrow morning because what I do is I record it locally and then upload it.
Great.
And right now I'm actually
Okay.
uploading my class from earlier, the DM1 class, and that one went 3 hours. So the upload is there's 3 pieces to that. I'm not sure why.
When you log into Teacher John, it doesn't come up. Is it a subscription that we have to have the subscription to get into it?
Nope.
No.
It's just an open YouTube channel. So I'm trying to get there. Everything appears to be glacially moving here on my computer. I don't know if it's the internet or what, but YouTube is opening up slowly. Okay, so I'm at YouTube. I will email you out the link, but I'm just going to show you how to get there. If you don't need the link, if you know how to do it. So I'm actually already logged into my channel. So let's see what we got here. I can post the link in the forum.
Yeah, that would be good.
Yeah, that'd be great.
I'm going to do that right now.
Because I noticed that it's not on the Teacher John one.
And it will be. Okay, so here's my channel. Let's see what we got here.
Oh.
Go to my channel. And if you actually did a search for Teacher John as one word, and you see this icon, you'll find it. But
Okay.
so
I get 2 words.
if
It
so
comes
what
out.
I do is
It is subscription.
I make everything a playlist. So each class is a playlist so that if the class is broken down into 1, 2, or 3, or 4 sections, I make a playlist. And so each class is a playlist. And let's see, and where's DM56 should be here, and it's not. Huh. Okay, I don't know what happened to the DM56 one. That's odd. I'll have to re-upload it. But anyway, this is where it will be. And it's got this tremendously ridiculous URL, but I'll copy it right now. And I'm pasting it in the chat.
John,
Yeah.
from the email you sent us yesterday, I think it was yesterday, it was on a different YouTube channel. It was on John Govsky channel instead of Teacher John.
You know what happened? That's what happened. I had 2 YouTube channels, and somehow YouTube started to merge them. And so that one didn't get merged. So I will have to upload the one from last week. Okay. So now, thank you, Debbie. That's what happened. But this is where it's going to be. This is the right channel. See that link I just put in? And you don't have to view as a subscriber.
Right.
Okay. So anyway, oh, somebody's got a loud cat. So I'm logging into a demo site that I set up in the exact same way that I set up your sites. So you're going to see the same exact things come up first. So what's going to happen is you're going to get into your WordPress dashboard. What is this? You know, Safari is a funky browser. I think Safari's cookies are confused because I've been logging into so many sites with it. So I'm going to open up Firefox and just do it with that because this is not working right. Let's try something.
By the way, John, I did get in finally.
Yep, good. Okay. Well, I'm glad your Zoom and everything seems to be working again.
Yeah, and we're getting into WordPress as well. So.
Yeah, it's always a little rough when you're first trying to log into something. So obviously you want to write down your login and password. And I'll email everybody out a reminder on how the logins and passwords work. And I don't know why everything seems to be so glacially slow right now on my computer, but it seems like everything is way slow.
When is our next meeting going to be?
Well, I was going to do it for like sometime on Thursday or Friday. My meeting schedule for the next couple weeks is absolutely bonkers. Is there a time that works for you guys? I can try to do it. I was going to try to vary the time so different people could make different
Thursday's
ones.
better for me. Thursday's better for me than Friday.
What about day versus evening?
I don't know about it.
Evening's usually better.
Evening's good.
Okay.
Either way.
I'll shoot for that.
But I can do anytime Thursday except 9 to 10 and 1 to 2.
I'm good after 4.
Okay, I'm just, Safari's going away here.
And for any of you folks, the CTC is open during, I think from probably something like 9 to 7. If anybody needs any help, you just log into them.
Is that the CTC is our computer lab?
Yeah. So all you have to do is pull that up on the Cabrillo website.
Yeah.
And it's got a calendar, and you just click on the calendar, and it will let you zoom in.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, Cabrillo's in a bit of an uproar right now, as you might imagine. It's been about the craziest time I can ever remember at Cabrillo. I've taught here for a long time, and everybody is absolutely just flipped out because of everything that's going on, and everybody had to switch over to online instantly, and things are not always as smooth as they're supposed to be everywhere these days, but especially at school. So
right.
If everybody just bears with everybody, it's been an absolutely crazy time. Cabrillo is facing a pretty major budget situation. Pardon, Ann?
for those of us that are working in the CTC right now, we're just absolutely doing nothing but waiting for somebody to come in and need some help. So
Well, you're
if people
lucky.
need help, come on in and ask for help.
Yeah.
They're employing us to be there in case people need help. And I guess the word hasn't gone out that we're there.
Also, for the buses, it isn't essential travel either, so they probably won't let you on if you're on the bus.
So Anne, can you post?
Oh, we're not on campus. We're doing it.
I don't know why it's giving me this screen about WordPress.com. This is not back to demo. Okay.
Yeah, and if you could post your CTC information in the discussion, that would be so helpful.
Yeah, that's what I was
Well,
going to ask you
if
to
at
do.
the end, if at the end you let me share my screen, I can show you where to find it on the computer.
Okay, okay.
Or if, John, if
Yeah.
you pull up the Cabrillo website, pull up the Cabrillo College website, I'll show you.
But for those who aren't able to watch this, it would still be helpful if you had time to post it in the discussion.
Sure.
Thank you.
You can save
So
the
just
chat
go to
window.
the breakthroughs happen here.
There's at the bottom of your chat window, there's 3 little dots, and you can click on that and save the chat. So you might want to do that at some point to save all these things that are posted in there.
Yeah.
Well, while
Thank you.
Cabrillo is loading, I'm not sure what's going on here. Everything is so slow. And this is driving me crazy here. Okay, so Anne, here we go. Where do you want to show them?
So go up to where you have resources over at the far end. It's, yeah, student
Resources?
services. Hold
Here?
down student services.
Yeah,
And then go down to the Computer Technology Center.
okay.
On that.
Yeah, I did. I clicked on it. It's just everything is amazingly
finally
slow.
loads.
Okay.
So when that finally loads, if you
This
scroll
here?
down a little bit, yeah, keep scrolling. Keep scrolling. Keep scrolling.
Can't scroll
You'll
anymore.
see
We're
a
at the bottom.
calendar. No, the calendar hasn't loaded yet. There's a calendar.
Must be right
And
there, huh?
The calendar, yeah, and the calendar shows, and you can just click, or actually even up. So it'll have who's working for the DM classes, and you just click on their name.
Awesome.
I think
Okay, it's
you
still
had a link
loading,
in one
so-
of your emails, John. I think I clicked on it by mistake.
I have sent this link out in email, I think twice. So, oh wow, there it is. Finally loaded. Okay,
So
thank you,
can
Anne.
see where all the DM students are,
It looks different.
and you just click on our name. And it doesn't matter whose name you click on, it still just takes you into one meeting, and then they will put you and somebody in a breakout room, and then they can help you.
Thank you.
Cool.
Cool. Okay, well,
Almost makes me wish I was still working for Rio.
Who said that?
Interesting. I did.
I said it almost makes me wish I was still working at Cabrillo.
Well, at least we're still working.
Okay, I'm gonna have to reset this up. Well, while this is working or not, I'll continue talking about some stuff we need to know. Okay, so WordPress as a content management system. Okay, now I'm angry at WordPress. Okay, we're gonna try going back to the test account. different approach. So WordPress, okay, this is crazy. Let's try this one more time.
No.
Somebody's cat is noisy. All right, we're in test. It's really wigging out. Okay.
Professor Gusky, while we wait, just so I'm clear, will we need to watch the 2 Zoom videos to be able to complete our weekly assignments?
Generally, yeah, because that's what I'll cover, is what I'm asking you to do. And right now, I'm asking you, right now, this is taking a little too long, and I'm just going to let it go one more time, and then I'm going to switch gears here. But this should let me in. Come on.
Okay, great. And
I don't
I'm
know
only
why this is
asking
so
'cause I'm
slow.
used to Canvas where we.
So this is a good time
Okay.
to answer questions while it's trying to log in. If you have specific questions, ask away. Otherwise, I'm going to talk a little about WordPress. Okay, I'll talk a little
Okay,
about
I was just wondering, this is my only course I've ever done that was not on Canvas.
Uh-huh.
And so on Canvas, I know what I'm supposed to review, so I just want to make sure I understand what we review besides the discussion.
Yeah, yes, I would have put it in Canvas had the crisis not hit. And so I know what you mean.
Got it.
Canvas is predictable to you. I will, well, let me go over right now what I'm going to ask you to do. And so just watch this for now. Okay, so this is what you see when you first log in. You get to the dashboard. And the dashboard is kind of your starting point for everything. The dashboard is pretty much where all your controls are for your website. Now, you all, if you see this URL up here, which says designgurus.com/test/wp-admin. So there are several ways to get to the dashboard. One is to go to a URL that looks like this. So you would go to designcruise.com/your first name with a capital letter, and then put /wp-admin, and that gets you to the dashboard. You could also sometimes, well, actually, that's the standard way to get there. So that's a URL you probably want to remember. In other words, append wp-admin to that URL, designcruise.com/your name/wp-admin. So that URL is going to be important to you. Now I'm at the dashboard. I'm logged in. I don't know what the delay was, but it finally let me in. Okay, so now when you're at your dashboard, first off, when you first set up a site from scratch, it's not what we call published. So the site is not visible to anybody, and you saw that when you tried to go there and you got that admin screen with the button. So nothing is public yet. Once you publish the site, then it is visible to the outside world. So for now, it's not published. And so this is exactly what you'll see when you first go into your account. Now, in this dashboard on the left, there are a lot of very, very cool and important things. First off, if you go to this top right here where it says Visit Site, if I click on that, it will show me what the public sees. Now, and actually, there's not a whole lot here yet. So I'm going to go back. But that will be a place where you'll go where it says Visit Site. Dashboard, if you don't see dashboard and you're somewhere in the dashboard, like let's say I go into here into appearance themes, it's easy to get kind of lost in all the submenus. So it's nice to always go back to the dashboard as your starting place if you're ever confused about where you are. And I've got this pop-up thing that I'm gonna get rid of. Okay, so I went to appearance themes right here. Now, if I ever want to get back to the dashboard, again, I go back to dashboard. So dashboard is always a good starting place. On the left-hand side, you see a few basic things like posts, media, pages, comments, and so forth. Posts and pages are key, okay? And this is some terminology you want to be familiar with WordPress right off the bat. Pretty much every time you create a new page, it is either called a post or a page. So technically a post is a web page, but WordPress makes a distinction between what it calls posts and what it calls pages, okay? Pages are a little more static than a post. Post is the kind of a thing, it's the kind of a web page that allows people to post comments to it. A page does not allow people to post comments to your page. A post can, and a post is a little different than a page. So your websites are going to be made up of what WordPress calls posts and pages. And whenever you create new content, you're probably going to add either a post or a page. Pages are a little simpler than posts. Posts have a little more going on because posts let the comments be appended to the page. Media is where you will put your library of images. Images, videos, other things. Mostly it's going to be images. So media library is where you will both add images and where you will use images to post on your pages. So these post, media, and pages are good starting points. Now, going down here to appearance. Appearance is where you find themes. And themes is one of the things I want to talk about today. I want you to explore themes. So a theme, if you know anything about web design in terms of HTML and CSS, what WordPress calls themes in the outside web world is sometimes called templates or frameworks. In other words, your theme is your general set of templates, your basic appearance of the different kinds of pages that you have on your site. The beauty of WordPress is that you don't have to create these things from scratch. And WordPress has lots of themes. There are thousands and thousands of themes online that you can use. And many of them are free. Some of them are commercial that you pay for. Not requiring that you buy anything. We'll just stick with all the free stuff. But when you get into this, you will find that sometimes it is worth your while to pay a few bucks for a commercial theme if you're working on a project because it makes it that much easier. But we don't have to do that right now. And this little pop-up about getting more sales leads and subscribers is annoying. It keeps coming up. Let me make it go away again. So I am going to go to this appearance themes, okay? And under appearance themes, I can select a different look for my website. When your site is set up, you're all starting with the same default generic theme. I don't know what they're calling it. Active 2020, yeah. So they're calling this theme 2020, which makes sense since it's 2020. Now, when it says active, that means that that's your current theme. You can easily change themes. And so different themes have different structures to them, different ways the menus work, different ways the images work. And the beauty of WordPress is that you can very easily change your themes and customize your themes and add new ones. So see where it says here 2020, and then if I put my cursor over it, it says activate and live preview. Okay. I'm going to click on Activate. And I'm going to wait for WordPress to do something. Come on, WordPress, you can do it. There we go. All right. Now, so now I'm actually looking at my 2020 theme. If I click on Theme Details, it gives me a little information about the theme. And up here it says Current Theme, which means that if I publish the site, that's what people will see. So whenever you're evaluating themes, it's good to kind of take a look at this and just see what the developer of the theme, theme details here, says about the theme. And yeah, it's kind of a very brief summary of the theme. Now, we're not going to add new themes yet, but we're going to look at what I'm going to look at live preview now. Let's go to live preview. The live preview will show me what the pages will actually look like with this theme of what's called 2020. What I do want you to do for this week is one of the things I want you to do is play with themes. I want you to change your theme to something that's not this default theme. So let's take a look at this default theme first. And come on, you can do it. It's still kerchunking. There we go. So I'm going to open this up a little. And scrolling through this theme. Now, one thing about the web is that it's very different from print design in that all of these themes, all the modern themes that we're going to be using are called responsive themes. And in website design, responsive design means that your website responds, the design of the website responds to the device it's being viewed on differently than other devices. So for example, if the theme is a responsive theme, and all these modern themes are, it will look different on a phone, it will look different on a tablet, and it will look different on a large screen on a desktop. And that's what we mean by a responsive theme. And if I narrow that window, I can approximate what it looks like on a smaller screen, like a phone or a tablet. In other words, things go down to one column essentially. And as I widen it, it grows to fill the space, and now you see it's actually a two-column layout and one big column there. Again, two columns there. But one of the first things I always do when I look at a new theme is I want to see how responsive it is. I want to see what's it going to look like when it goes down to one column wide. You know, how's that going to look on a phone? And so here we see essentially one column. Everything is in one column. And so, you know, it just shows you, yes, it's a basic responsive theme. Okay. Now, up here, when I'm viewing the theme, there's a button that says Activate and Publish. Now, publish means that now the site is going to be visible to the outside world. So I'm going to publish it. I'm going to publish it. And it's doing its thing. Come on. It should say published when it's done. And then I can actually see what the outside world will see. You can always publish or unpublish your site. If you unpublish it, of course, nothing is visible. But for the purpose of the course, you want it always to be published so that we all can see your sites and I can see them. And it says published now, that little blue thing changed. So now my site is actually active and published. I haven't added anything to it. I have done nothing except activate and publish a theme, which means that the default theme and default theme's content is what I'm publishing right now. Now that I'm published, I can actually go back and see what it looks like. So I'm going back to my dashboard here. And now where it says Visit Site, I can click on that. And this is going to show me what the outside world will see, pretty much. And everything is really slow tonight. I'm sorry, but I'm waiting for it to load. I can tell it's loading because I see the little thing moving back and forth up here. There we go. So here's my beautiful WordPress site that I just published. And there it is. Woohoo. By the way, you see where it says test here and it says test here? On yours, it's going to say something like your site name, your tagline. I can't remember what I defaulted them to. But we'll talk about how to edit those. Okay, so now let's try a different theme. So let's say I'm back here in my dashboard. I go to Appearance Themes again. So this is a place I was at before, Appearance Themes. Under the Appearance in the dashboard, I see Appearance, and under Appearance, I select Themes. And now I'm in my Themes window. And I'm going to say, you know what? That's a boring theme. What's this other one here? 2019, 2017. I don't know what happened in 2018. I guess they didn't like it. I'm going to try 2019. I'm going to activate 2019. And I'm waiting, and I can see it actually is doing something because it is moving here. I'm waiting for it to activate. There we go. It is now activated. Now, if I go to visit site, let's see what happens. Oh, everything's so slow. Oh, I didn't change over to the new theme yet. Live preview. It's telling me my internet connection is unstable. I hope that doesn't mean what I hope it doesn't mean. Okay. So anyway, I'm in the live preview of this different theme. And so this has quite a different look. Well, somewhat different. It's got a nice giant picture on the top. Now, if I say change here, oh, actually, I can just say activate and publish here. Publish means you're really doing it. So when I publish now, the outside world will see something different. And it says published. So now if I go back, if I click on this, I can click on this back arrow or X this out to get back to the dashboard. I'm back at the dashboard again, and I'm going to visit site, and then I will see what the public would see. So playing with themes actually takes quite a bit of time in WordPress land because a lot of what you do is try different themes. Now, you can find a variety of themes, and you'll see at the top it says premium themes, WordPress.org themes, upload, and search. Okay, so what you have here are a handful of themes that WordPress gives you to start with, literally a handful, like 3 of them, right? But then you see there's, add new theme. There's a plus sign here. And what happens if we click on that? As you might imagine, it takes a long time. Okay, there we go. Now I can look at a whole bunch of themes other than those 3 themes that were, quote, installed in my WordPress. So you activate a theme that is already installed. So you have to install a theme before you can use it, before you can activate it and publish it. And when I go here now, I see a lot more possible themes. And they're all loading, so it's going to take a minute here because they're all loading their big graphics. It says featured, popular, latest, favorites, premium. Premium always means you pay for it, so you don't need to use any premium themes. Mm-hmm. Now, you see where it says installed. So it's showing me this theme is installed, but all these other ones down here, I could choose to install these if I think they're interesting. So let's say that they're still all loading because for some reason this connection is really slow. Let's say I go to this one. It's Saga blog, light? Okay. How about Sinatra? Sinatra, okay. I can preview and install. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna install a few of these and then I'll look at them. So I'm gonna install this one. It says it's installing. Installing doesn't mean I'm changing my theme. It just means I'm giving myself a future option to use it. So before you can use a theme, you have to install it in your dashboard. So I'm gonna install a few of these. That one's installed. How about Sinatra? We'll install Sinatra and I'll pick another one. How about this one? I'll install this one. So one of the first things I want you to do is look at different themes. Now, I'm not really examining these closely. I'm just installing them. You're going to want to kind of take a longer look at them. And if I now go back to my, oh, I'm in my dashboard. Okay. So I can live preview right from here, or I can activate right from here. And I can also upload a theme that I have downloaded from the web somewhere else. So that's, go there later. But just the free themes that WordPress gives you access to by clicking on that add button are very handy. So if you don't remember what I did, let me go back to Appearance. And Appearance, and under Appearance Themes. Oh, wait, before I go there. No, I want to stay in Appearance. And because I now see the ones I installed. See, now these are new. They weren't there before. I installed a couple of themes like this Saga blog, this Sinatra, and this Indite. So these themes I installed, which means now they're available to me in the dashboard. And everything's running slow, but there they are. Now I could choose to change one of these, change to using one of these themes. For example, if I said, you know, let's look at this Indite. Theme details, I could read a little about it. I can do a live preview. Oh, of course, everything's taking a really long time. It's funny because the machine was not moving this slow until Zoom started. I wonder if Zoom is slowing everything down for me. Okay. So anyway, when you go into the theme, as I just did, you will then see on the left, Activate and Publish. And that means I would just change to this new theme. So I am going to activate and publish. And so that is how you change themes. So one of the things that, one of the very first things I want you to know how to do is to look at themes and then change them, play with them a little bit. And I want you to activate and publish a theme that's not the default theme, just so I know that you know how to change themes. Okay. Now, if I, again, go back to my dashboard, which I can do by clicking on this X or clicking on this little back arrow. And boy, things are slow. Oh, come on, WordPress. Kerchunk, kerchunk, kerchunk. Okay, we're back at the dashboard. And now it's showing me that my current theme is this Indite, as indicated by current theme. Okay, so that's how you change themes. And if you forgot how I got those extra themes, I clicked on the Add Themes button when I went into Appearance Themes. So I'm going to do that again. I'm going to go back to Appearance Themes, Themes under the Appearance menu item right here. I'm waiting for it to load. And if you remember, what I did was I went on this Add New Theme. And so if you forgot what to do, you go to your dashboard, you go to Appearance, you go to Themes, and then you click on Add New Theme, and then you install a few of those themes. Then you go back to your dashboard and Appearance, and then you activate and publish a different theme. And you can do that at the beginning of setting up your WordPress site, after you've set up your WordPress site. Once you start customizing things, it gets harder to simply change themes. But before you've customized anything, it's super simple to change themes because you won't break anything. And by the way, don't be afraid to break anything, because while there are, it's pretty hard for you to break something. I mean, I can do it, but you won't know enough how to break it yet. So experimenting with your dashboard stuff is really a good idea, because you will then develop questions, and I can answer specific questions, and you'll get a lot of knowledge just by playing around in the dashboard. So that was a little mini thing on themes. Now, so one of the things I want you to do is look at different themes, find one that you like, and publish it. And you can do that many, many times. Okay. Now, let's talk about what the theme comes with. Themes will come with a few different basic page layouts. So remember I talked about posts and pages. There are actually, in a sense, there are three kinds of things. There are post pages and home pages. Different themes treat the home page differently. So we can get into that in a little more detail later. But for now, what I want you to do is be familiar with the very basic level with posts and pages. Now, let's take a closer look at posts and pages. WordPress has an editor built in so that you can easily create content without having to know any coding. And that's the beauty of WordPress. So I'm going to say posts, all posts. Now, I don't know what posts I have in this theme. So I'm going to just see, give me an inventory of all the posts that I currently have. Since I didn't create any pages or posts yet, the only things I will see here are the things that came with my theme. And so here I'm at what's called the posts page. And at the very top, you see add new, and that's if you want to add a brand new page post page. And if I scroll down, I see here is a list of my current posts, and there's only one, and it's called Hello World. And that came with the theme. And that's a fairly standard thing. Hello World is a kind of an old, anytime you take any basic programming class, the first thing you learn how to do is make the program spit out Hello World. So WordPress has taken off from that, and they give you a Hello World page.
Yeah.
So I know I have one page. The theme came with one page. Let's see if I one post page. Now I'm going to go not to posts, but to pages. And I'm going to say, what are the pages I have? Hello World. That's it. So I really only have one thing here. I have a Hello World. All right. Now, oh, I'm sorry. I'm not in pages. Pages. No wonder I still see Hello World. All pages. Sorry, that was the posts. So I should see at least one page when I go to pages. So I'm waiting for WordPress to show me what pages I have. Okay, so WordPress gave me several pages. Now I only had one post. If you remember when I was at posts and I went to all posts, I have Hello World, and that's all I have here. So it gave me one sample post page. But when I go to pages and I say, I want to see all the pages I have, the theme that I selected, and this all comes with the theme package, the theme that I got gives me several different kinds of pages. So let's take a look at these. Huh. So it gave me an about, it gave me a blog, it gave me a contact, it gave me a privacy policy, a sample page, and a front page, or what I would normally call a home page. This is what came with the theme. I haven't really done anything yet to create any content. Now, so one of the things it gives you is an about page. Gives you a blog page, which is actually a post. Gives you a how to contact me page. Gives you a privacy policy. Not all the themes will give you a privacy policy page. A sample page, I guess that's a generic page. And then what it calls the front page. The way that themes deal with the home page is what varies a bit from theme to theme. Some themes will default to your most current blog post. Other themes will give you a static page for your home page. And this is all customizable and changeable. So what I'm talking about is just what kind of comes as the default set of stuff with the theme. But the first thing you want to do is kind of look at what you already have. And when you see things like this about contact privacy policy, then your thought might be, I wonder if that stuff is in the menu that the theme gave me. And menuing is very important in web design and WordPress. So if you go back to visit site, let's take a look at how many of these things are visible from the menu. So this theme has a vertical left menu, and I see home, about, blog, and contact. So that's where that comes from. Those are the 4 generic things it gave me, right? Now, home, that's pretty that's the home page. About, let's see what about looks like. And I'm waiting for it to load. Okay, well, that's a generic about page. Let's see what the blog page looks like. That's a generic blog post. Now, blog is different than the other pages, by the way, because this is technically a post type of a page where everything else is a regular static page. So blog, and by the way, WordPress started as a blog, and I think we talked about this last week before the connection dropped. Blog is a contraction for weblog, which is how WordPress started as a blog or a system where somebody could put an online journal, have their own personal online journal. So blogs started as online journals, and they quickly developed into these massive beings like WordPress, which are now full-blown content management systems that can handle a lot of stuff. And blog pages are special kinds of pages because those are the ones that you can allow users to post comments to those pages. That is a distinctive feature of what's called a blog page. And contact is going to be a standard static page. Let's see. Contact. Okay. So if I go back to my dashboard, and it's always a good idea to go back to the dashboard if you're not sure where you are in WordPress. Good starting point. I'm going to go into a couple of these pages and just take a look. So back to the dashboard. Now I'm going to go to let's go back to that existing post page. I'm gonna go back to that page where it said hello world. I think it said hello world. Yeah. Now, this is where you get a list of all your posts, or what I call your post pages, as opposed to your pages here. Now, edit, view, quick edit, trash, we'll get rid of it. Categories, uncategorized. We'll talk about categories in a bit. Author, test, because that's me. My account is under the test login. Your name would show here in yours. So if I go to edit, I can edit this page, and I get into the WordPress editor. The WordPress editor is a beast unto itself. There's an old editor, which I guess sometimes is called the classic editor, which is the one I'm very used to. The new editor is a little different. It's called a block editor. And as soon as you go into this for the first time, it says, welcome to the block editor. So for the first time, I'm going to click on next. And what it's saying is that it's giving you building blocks to build your web page. So the WordPress block editor is just that. It's kind of like Legos. You're going to have different pieces of a page that you can create. And by the way, since I'm just like talking a lot, if you want to stop me and ask a question, please do that. And I haven't been looking at the chat. Let me take a quick look if anybody's posted a question there. Okay. All right. So,
Debbie has a question.
Question. Who said that? I see Debbie's hand up, and I heard somebody.
Debbie has a question.
Oh, Debbie. Yeah.
I've never seen this block. I've never seen this block.
It's new.
Thing.
This is a new editor. Yeah. And I'm not that familiar with it either, because there's an old editor that was a really nice editor that everybody used for years and years, which they now call the classic editor. or Gutenberg. And that one I found more intuitive than the block editor. Maybe it's because I used it before and the block editor's new. And by the way, we haven't talked about plugins yet, but when you there's a plugin you can get to restore the old classic editor. So Debbie, if you're not familiar with the block editor and you're more comfortable with the old editor, you can install a plugin for the classic editor and use the old editor. I'm going to click on next. Get to know the block library.
I don't know what I'm familiar with. I don't know.
Pardon? Learn how to use the block editor and see where it says here.
Yet.
See where it says here, here's a detailed guide. That is something I want you to read. That's got the information. It's a little tutorial on how this new block editor works. So if we click on, I'm going to click on that and open it in a new window. And this is something that I would like you to look at this week because it will explain the basics of the new block editor. And I mean, as soon as my page loads, which is taking a really long time.
John, I have a question.
Yes. Whoever said that.
It's Amanda.
Hi, Amanda. Nice picture.
Yeah, it's Amanda. Hey, thanks. No purple hair. That was pre-purple hair. So should we just use the block editor, or should we, if we feel comfortable and want to try like a plugin like Visual Composer or Beaver Builder or one of those that sort of does this?
Whatever you're more comfortable with, actually.
Or?
You know, that's a great thing about WordPress. There's lots of customized modules that you can use for things like editing. So if you're comfortable with something, you should use it. I am not comfortable with this block editor because I'm one of those people that still like to use the old editor because, you know, when you're used to something, you don't necessarily want to spend time to learn something different. But the block editor is kind of, once you wrap your brain around it, it does have, it makes some sense, which isn't immediately apparent. It's just a different model. And I am somebody who's, I'm a hand coder. So to me, all these editors feel clunky because I would simply just open up a text editor and type in code, which I find actually easier and more convenient than using these clunky WordPress editors.
Yeah.
But if you're not a coder and you don't know HTML, you know, these are that's why people use this program, because they don't want to learn how to hand code. Now, if you know hand coding, it's a lot nicer to do a lot of this.
So how do we learn how to use HTML with this?
Pardon me, Ann?
How do we do HTML with this?
How do you do HTML with this? Okay. Yeah.
That's what I want to do.
The real question, Ann, is how do you do CSS with this? You see, when you download this theme, when you download a theme, it's a package. And it's essentially a package of different HTML templates. And you can modify them to a certain limited degree without knowing any code. But the real customization is in the cascading style sheets, in the style section. And let's see, let me give you a brief overview since you asked. Okay, so a theme is a package of the HTML templates and CSS style sheets and perhaps some JavaScript thrown in, and maybe they'll throw in a few plugins that do different functions. Plugins are add-ons that have specific functions that increase your functionality, and plugins are like they're a double-edged sword because they let you do cool stuff, but each and every plugin that you add to your installation of WordPress does perhaps open up a slight security hole. The way WordPress sites generally get hacked is through a plugin. And WordPress sites are extremely targeted by hackers because they're so popular. So plugins are really handy. Don't go overboard with plugins that you don't need and aren't going to use. They're really great to experiment with, but then if you find a plugin and you decide, whatever, Don't leave it there, get rid of it. Because every plugin you have that's active is just another possible way for some hacker to try to get into your site. And you can get a plugin to restore the old classic editor, Gutenberg. And you can get plugins to put calendars on your site, to do almost anything. There are thousands and thousands of WordPress plugins. Many of them are free, and some of them have pro versions that you pay a little for and so forth. Same thing with themes. Not all plugins work with all themes. And once you start customizing your site by adding plugins to it, then if you change themes, you have to be aware of all the different ways that those plugins interact with the new theme. So plugins are a whole deal, and we're going to look at a few plugins in a minute. But back here to the WordPress editor tutorial. So this here is how the new WordPress editor works. It's got some basics. I can see that it's already been a long time, so I'm not going to go through all this in detail, but I want you to take a look at that. So let's just move that out of the way for now. I'm just going through a little overview here. So I'm just going to say get started. Now, this is the new WordPress editor, what they call the block editor. And quite frankly, I'm not that comfortable with it. But right off the bat, when I click here, I get this little dealy bub here. I get more options here under the 3 dots. I see that I can simply type here, hello there. This is my headline for the page. Hey you. Hey you.
Huh.
Hello there. I'm me. Anyway. And you can see right off the bat that like it's not showing me everything I want to see. Remove block, back to the first block. So it divides pieces of the page up into these blocks of type or with images. So you want to do a little experimenting with the editor, but for now, I'm just giving you this we're doing a little like overview tour here to test drive, so I don't want to get too deep in any one thing. But you can play with it. Anyway, I'm in this is an existing page that came with the theme, and I just went in and kind of messed it up a little bit. Now, if I say preview up here in the right, then I can see what the page is going to look like before I publish it. And it's generating preview. Well, it's not that big of a page. This preview can't be that much to generate. Come on. Come on, WordPress, you can do it. Is yours as slow as mine? This feels slow. And I can see there's what the page looks like in my theme. There's the menu for the website, and there's my post. Now, you see that this is a post, and I can tell it's a post because it has comments. Okay, and that is, of course, what makes a page a post. A post is a special kind of a page where readers can leave comments if you allow them to. You can also create categories, and people can sort and view different categories, which is one of the power of the posting of what they call posts or blog posts. Okay, so I'm going to go back to my dashboard, and let's look at that was a blog post page, what's called a post. Now we're going to go to a standard, what's called a static page down here. I was in posts. Now I'm going to go back to pages. I'm going to go back to all pages and see what came with the theme. And I can see I've got, okay, I looked at the posts page. Let's look at contact, edit. Let's take a look at this. And I'm waiting, kerchunk, kerchunk, kerchunk. I'm going to get to the same block editor.
John, while you're waiting, do you remember the name of the theme that you chose? Because it has so many options under pages, and the others don't have that many options.
Yeah, you know, they're all themes are different. I think it was Indite or something. I
Okay.
can go back to the dash and take a look.
Okay.
But let me go back. Let me just, since I'm in this,
Thank you.
I'm in another page here, and see how this is much simpler.
Sure.
Contact. Oh, you know what? If you could mute yourself if you're making extra noise there. Oh, you know what? You could mute yourself. I am going to.
Sorry, I was trying.
Oh, is that Deb? Is it okay? Okay. I'll just put a real email address in here. Okay, I'm gonna mute you guys. You can unmute yourself if you want to say something. Just unmute yourself, which you can do in the participants window or in other places. But anyway, there was some kind of background noise. GOGVSKY at Cabrillo. Okay, so in other words, I'm on my contact page, and I'm just gonna play with that. All right. I'll just say update. I'm not gonna bother the preview because I want to move on to a couple other things. All right, page is updated. All right. I am going to go back to my dashboard. Now the theme. Somebody had a question about the theme. Themes are always under appearance. So you wouldn't see the word theme, but you see appearance, and that's how you find themes. So if I go back here, it'll tell me about my themes. I'm waiting for it to, there we go, come on, you can do it. And yeah, what did I say it was? Indite or something? Indite, active. So that's my active theme. INDIT. It was one of the ones that came up when I said add themes. So when I went down here and said add new theme, that's where I found it. And that's where you can find your basic themes first. Okay, so media. Let's take a quick tour around the images block. All right, so a media library is where you're going to put your images. Okay, so the library probably doesn't have very many images. It has whatever came with the theme. And I'm waiting for it to load. Come on, you can do it. You can do it. Media library. All right. So the media library is a place you're going to go to a lot because it's where all your images are stored. Now, one of the things I don't like about WordPress is how it deals with images. So it looks like it comes with one basic image. There are actually other images that this theme did come with, I think, because I think I remember one or two other images I saw on the front page, but that's going to be a special image for that theme's special page. So if I wanted to use images, this is where I would put them. And if I say, let's see, well, there's not much to search on. One of the things I don't like about the media library in WordPress is it just puts everything in this one library. So you actually, over time, you get all these images and you have to scroll through all these images, and then you realize, you know what, I'm probably going to want to install a plugin to manage my media library. So you're not at that point yet, but you will get there. And there are tons of plugins to help manage your media library. But for now, I'm going to take a screenshot of me in this other window that you don't see. Hello, did it take a screenshot? Okay, I want my screenshot to appear. I just want an image that I can add to my library. It should show up on my desktop. Hello, come on, everything's so slow. Oh, maybe I'll just grab an image from somewhere else in the meantime. Never mind, I'm gonna grab another image here. And I actually have two large monitors, so you're not seeing my image library. I'm just going to grab an image.
Don, when you upload an image, do you need to optimize it yourself, or does it optimize it for you?
That's a really good question. It will, it depends. Generally speaking, it depends. It will use the image at whatever size you want it to be used at. But there are different ways to approach optimization. That gets a little more involved. So let's hold that thought for now, because I'm just going to give you an overview. We can get into images in detail later. But right now, I just want to show you how to add some images to the library, and don't worry about optimizing them for now. And everything is moving glacially here. My screenshot never even showed up on the desktop. That is so weird. Okay. All right, let's get this. Here's one. How about Astro Boy? There's Astro Boy. Hello. Okay, it's not showing. There it is. Okay. Yeah, there's another one. Clap. I think that's an animated GIF. Let's see. Okay, so I've got a couple images here. Now I can actually drag and drop. See what I'm doing here? I'm just going to drag and drop. Boom. I am now, it's now uploading my Astro Boy image. I'll drag and drop another one. So I've just added 2 images to my library. They're currently uploading. They'll show up in a minute. And they're pretty small, so they shouldn't take that long to upload. I picked small ones so they wouldn't have to worry about this. All right. So adding an image to the library is as easy as drag and drop, right? So I just added 2 images. This one hasn't shown up yet. But there's Astro Boy. All right, and there's the clap. Okay, this guy clapping. Okay. So now those images are available to me to add to a page. So let's go to, I'm going to go back to all pages. So did you catch that, how easy it is to add an image to the media library? You just drag it right in. So any images that you're going to use, that's where you put them. You have to put them in the library before you can use them. Once they're in the library, you can use them. So I'm going to go to About. I'm going to go to my About page. And I thought that I was going to have that screenshot of myself to put on the About page. Oh, there it is. It did show up. It just showed up down here. Okay. All right. So actually, you know what? I want to add the. Oh, never mind. I'm going to be Astro Boy. I think I'm going to be Astro Boy. All right. So you see this little plus sign here? It gives you some options. See that? So if I click on that plus sign, so what I did is I simply hit the carriage return, and it creates what's called a new block. And see the cursor there? That's where I'm going to put the image. I click on the plus sign, and I can go to images. Where is it? Image gallery here. I'm sorry, not gallery, images. Actually, gallery works too. Media library is where I really want to go. I didn't want to create a gallery though, so let me go back here. I wanted to go to image. Okay, media library. This is actually such a slow. I'm not sure why everything is so slow today. Is Mercury like in retrograde or something? I don't know. I'm going to click on Astro Boy. Now,
no,
when
that's a good question.
when I click on this image, you see it gives me some metadata over here. So alt text is something that, if you know HTML, you know what that means. It stands for alternative text description. And images should always have alt text. So I'm just going to literally type Astro Boy. It's how you describe what the image is. Title doesn't really matter. I don't need a caption or description. You always want alt text at a minimum. So that's all I'm going to do. I'm going to put alt text in there. And I'm going to select it. Okay. Now, I'm waiting. And it's placing Astro Boy on the page where my cursor was. Or more accurately, since this is a new block editor, it's putting it in a block. All right. And I am going to preview and see what that looks like. So it's very easy to put an image on a page. And okay, for now, good enough. All right, so let me do that again, just one more time with a different image and a different page. Oh, come on, WordPress. There we go. Let me go back to that. Oh, actually, what else was under all pages? Let's see. Contact. Is that where I was? That was about. Go back to my contact page, and I'm going to put my screenshot there since it's about me. Oh, if I would have known this was going to be so slow. Come on. Sorry, I'm very impatient. All right. So I'm going to click the return key. It starts a new block. I'm going to click the plus sign. I'm going to go to image. There it is. And I am going to go to media library. And I'm going to select the clapping guy. Man clapping. And I'm going to select that image. Oh, I was going to use my screenshot. That's all right. I'll be the man clapping. All right. Update. So you see how easy it is to put an image on a page. Of course, there's a lot to using the editor in terms of flowing text around and everything. Again, we'll spend some time just on the editor, but not today. This is the overview. All right, so it's updating as it says here. I'm waiting for it to update, and it's done. So I can now preview this page, and I've added an image to another page. There we go. Questions so far? I realize it's getting, I didn't want to spend this much. Okay, I'm gonna do a few more things here. I don't need the preview anymore. Oh, not that home. Come on. Oh, it's really gonna make me wait. Okay.
John, for the purposes of this class, we don't have to worry necessarily about like if the photos are from public domain only or anything, do we?
Oh, well, actually, yeah, I probably shouldn't have chosen Astro Boy, huh? Because that's technically a copyrighted image. Yeah, thank you for reminding me of that. I was being a little loose there. Quite frankly, I shouldn't let you use images that are copyrighted that you don't have permission to use because you are publishing this. If you're not publishing it, it's one thing, but you are going to be publishing this so that we can all see it, so I can see it. And so technically, you should not use any material, images, text, that you do not have permission to use. There are, millions of public domain images online. You've got your own photos you can use. A lot of government websites have public domain images on them. So you can do searches for open source or public domain images, and you can use anything that's public domain or anything you have permission to use. But no, don't use images that you didn't create or that you don't have permission to use, because that's actually a copyright no-no, and I cannot sanction that behavior. So forget I put Astro Boy on there. I was a little loose there.
Okay.
We'll have to take him off. I mean, don't stress too much about it, but try, I mean, obviously if you use something like, there are some companies who absolutely do not want to infringe on their copyrights. If you use any Walt Disney characters, man, they don't like that. Anyway, Okay, so I've done a couple of things so far. So let's take stock. Okay, so here's so far what I'm asking you to do. Log in your WordPress site. Install some themes. Choose and activate and publish a theme that's not the default theme. So that's one thing. And I've got all this written out in an exercise that I have to actually myself publish, and I'll put that online tonight for you, but this is what it's going to say. So go to your WordPress site. Play with themes. Install a theme and activate and publish a theme that's not the one that was there first, the default theme. I want you to add or modify an existing or a new post page and page, and add an image to each page. So let me explain that again. So and also put images in your media library to do that. So let me backtrack. Change theme. Play with some themes. Install a few themes. Activate and publish a theme that you like. First thing. Take a look at the pages and posts that come with that theme, which is what I just did here. And if it comes with, at least one blog page and one page, which it will, you can use those pages, or you can add new ones, such as if I go to, let's go back to pages. Instead of going to all pages, I'll go to add new. So I'm going to create a page. Add title. Well, that's pretty straightforward. This is a new page. All right. Hey, I'm writing this in a new page. I don't care what your content is, by the way. In all of this, I don't care what your content is. I care more that you know mechanically how to do these things. By the end, we'll tie them all together and you'll make some kind of a coherent site. But for now, it's all experimentation and just getting familiar with the tools. All right, so I want you to either edit an existing page or create a new page, as I'm doing right now. Add an image, plus image, media library. And if you upload an image, it'll put it in the media library. Here, I'll put this dude again, just because that's what I've got. Yeah. I'm going to keep it simple. Publish. All right. So install new themes. Change your theme and activate and publish a different theme. Create or modify at least 2 pages and 2 posts. Add at least 2 images to some of those pages. So far, you know how to do that. Anybody have any questions so far before I go to the next
Yeah,
thing?
John, can you put an image anywhere? Oh, I'm sorry. Can you put an image anywhere on the page by just like holding on it and moving it with the cursor?
Not exactly.
Okay.
And some of that depends on what text editor you are using in WordPress.
Okay.
So, I mean, generally speaking, you can, but I think it was, who was it? Amanda was talking about using some different editors. It's a function of how the editor that you're using works. And so you can find different plugins for different tools to help you lay out pages. So hold that thought. Generally, you can, okay. but how you do that depends on the editor that you're using.
Okay, thanks.
Good question. And so what we've looked at so far is the basics of the dashboard. We've looked at appearance themes. Remember? We looked at the media library, which I want you to add some images to. Oops, I didn't click on it. What's it doing? Didn't click. Go away. I want you to edit or create at least 2 pages and 2 posts. Looks like I'm in posts. And let's see. Oh, I thought we would get to plugins today. Let's do a very brief look at plugins next. Okay, so and then we'll stop for tonight. So let's talk about plugins. Plugins are ways you customize your site. They add functionality. There are thousands of plugins to do almost anything. And they all come with slight risk. Again, I always want to caution people because sometimes people, when they discover, hey, I can do this plugin and that plugin, they start to go overboard. And I've seen like students add like 20 or 30 plugins, you know, and kind of keep the plugins down to a low number for this week. So let's take a look first at installed plugins. Installed plugins came with a theme. So let's see what this theme came with. They all come with a few basic plugins. Jetpack. So when you set up a very new WordPress site, there are some generic basic plugins, and Jetpack is like the most generic and basic of them. Jetpack is a kind of a Swiss Army knife. It does a bunch of different things. And Jetpack is something that, let's not get into Jetpack today, because I want to talk more about the process of finding and installing plugins. But look, these plugins are already here. Now it looks like these down here, Jetpack, Mojo, Marketplace, Opt-in, Monster, WP Forms Lite. I think these 4 came with all your WordPress installations. They look like they're generic enough that they came with the actual WordPress installation, and they're going to be there regardless of what theme you choose. You can prove me wrong, but I'm pretty sure that these came with the actual installation of WordPress itself. Looks like this analytics for WordPress, I think that came with the theme. I'm not sure which of these came with the theme, but I think this one came with the theme. I think these are generic that came with the installation. But at any rate, all the plugins that you have available to you are going to show up right here in this plugins window. And it says all plugins 7 active, 5 inactive, 2. Okay. So if you see the word deactivate, it means that the plugin is currently active. And if you see the word activate, it means that the plugin is generally not activated. If the plugin is not activated, then you don't really have to worry about it. You don't have to delete it. You could if you wished. Plugins are like themes in that you can install a bunch of themes and then choose from one of the installed themes to make it your current theme. And the other themes just sit there in your WordPress, but they're not used. Plugins are the same way. You can install lots of plugins, but not necessarily activate or use them right away, but they can be at the ready. So don't worry about the things that aren't activated, but the ones that are activated, they're active. They're being used right now. Now this Hello Dolly, this is not just a plugin. It symbolizes hope and enthusiasm. I don't even know. I'm not familiar with this one. Huh. I'm going to view details. What is this plugin about? Warning, this plugin has not been tested with your current version of WordPress. That's not a good thing. I'm assuming it'll be fine, but that's another thing about WordPress. Let me, since we're in the overview. WordPress has constant updates. Plugins have constant updates. Themes have updates. So whenever you install a theme, there may be an update at some point. Whenever you install a plugin, there may be an update at some point. Your WordPress installation itself will apparently need to be updated as WordPress issues updates. And WordPress updates, you should always do. Plugin updates, you should pretty much always do. Theme updates, depends. Generally speaking, you do want to be current with your updates because many times the updates are issued as security plugs. They plug some security hole. And that's important because if you have an old plugin and you have it active and it's got a security weakness, it will be found. and you do not want that to happen. So keeping current on your plugins and on your themes and on the WordPress installation itself is important. Now, I installed your WordPress. You didn't install it. I think HostMonster, which is the hosting service, I think the default is that WordPress itself will do an automatic update. The themes and the plugins generally won't unless you actually update them. And you will be notified in your dashboard when updates are available. So another reason to constantly check the dashboard is to see if there's any updates that you need to do. That said, one of the downsides about updates is sometimes an update can break something. It doesn't usually happen, but it can happen. So for example, this is giving me a warning that the theme hasn't been tested with the current version of WordPress. That will probably be fine, but if it's not, you'll find out about it because it won't work right. One of the problems with installing too many plugins is that at some point you'll update a plugin and it won't be compatible with your theme, or you'll update your theme and it won't be compatible with one of your plugins. So the more stuff you install like plugins, the more chance that you're going to have to hassle with them a little bit down the road. So just be aware that everything changes. There are updates issued to all these things constantly. And if you're evaluating a plugin or a theme for that matter, and you notice that the most current version of that plugin or theme is a couple of years ago, you don't want to use it because you only want to use stuff that's fairly current, because that tells you that the developer of that plugin or theme is actively working on it and keeping it up to date. You don't want to put something stale on there that's going to wind up being a security hole down the road because there's no security patch issued for it later. And that's what can happen with plugins. But this looks fairly innocuous, but I'm not going to use it because I want to show you. Let's say that we want to look for a plugin to do a certain thing. Now, I only have 7 installed plugins, correct? Yes. Now, let's say that somebody told me about this cool plugin. Let's see. Begin installing plugins. Let's take a look at these recommended ones for the theme. Yeah, I don't really know these plugins. Let's see. I really want to do.
I think Debbie has a question.
Let me go back to plugins. Yeah, Debbie. Debbie, you're muted.
you have to unmute.
Here, I'm going to unmute you because. Okay. Oh wait, I unmuted you.
Oh. Okay, good. I was told in the past that it's really good to have a plugin that updates your site automatically at intervals, like once a month or something like that.
Well, I have mixed feelings about automatic updates.
Okay.
Right. So just in general, automatic updates are a double-edged sword because they'll, that way if you zone out and you forget to do updates, they'll happen. But sometimes an automatic update will break something and then you don't realize it until your site is broken. So I personally like to manually, I'm sorry, what?
I made a mistake. What I meant was an automatic backup, so that.
Oh, that's very different. Yeah, and there are plugins to do that.
Right, so that so that's what I was going to suggest. Maybe if we can find one, so that you could automatically back up.
Well, let's not go there today because that is not a simple plugin.
Okay.
WordPress has a MySQL database behind it. It has literally every WordPress installation has a database. Backing up the database is the tricky part, and it also has a bunch of PHP and maybe some JavaScript and so forth. And so the way backups work Sometimes you have to configure them a certain way to store in a certain place on the server and everything. I don't want to get into something too complicated right now.
Okay, I didn't realize that.
I'll let you
Okay.
play with that if you want, but I was thinking of something a little more simple for finding some plugins.
Okay.
But we can like search on that. So I was looking at what's already installed here and what the theme is recommending I install. But instead, I'm going to go here under the dashboard to plugins, and I'm going to go to add new. So let's say I wanted to add a new plugin. Now, here, it's kind of similar to, remember when we talked about finding new themes? We get these ones that WordPress gives you as suggestions. They call them featured. Yeah, classic editor. See that? Enables the previous classic editor. So for those of you who are unfamiliar with the block editor, you might choose to install the classic editor theme plugin. In fact, that'll be one of the ones I'm going to install. So I can say install now. What else we got down here? Okay, these are just some very generic basic ones. But I could do searching and I could find all kinds of plugins. Like you were looking for backup?
Yeah.
I'm just going to put the word backup in here. And these are backup plugins. And this is page 1 of 44. So there are a lot of plugins that come up when I search on backup. So wow, lots of backup plugins. And you know, like these Dropbox, they're going to be different configuration things for backup plugins. So they're not the simplest ones, although some of them probably are very simple. But let's let me go back and search on something a little more generically useful. So I'm gonna, what do we have under keywords here? Author tag. No, I'm gonna search on. Let's see, some of the things you're probably gonna want to do. If you want to put a form on your site, and those of you who've had HTML, you know what I'm talking about. Like a fill-in form where a user can fill out a form and submit some data to you. There are form plugins to do that. I think there's a very generic one that comes with this WP Forms plugin right here. See that? That one's really popular, and I think that actually came with either the installation or the theme. Image galleries are another popular use of a plugin because a lot of times you want to put a gallery of images on your webpage, or slideshow plugins. If you think of any of those basic things you want to do on a website, calendars. There are plugins with calendars on your site. You know, Twitter feeds, all kinds of things you can stick on your site. And they're almost always done with plugins. Somebody give me a kind of a plugin to search on. Nope. Anybody?
Well, what about the anti-spam one? But you already have it there. I just thought that might
Yeah,
be
this Akismet, this actually comes with the I think with the WordPress installation, and you just activate it.
How about the images one?
I'm looking at galleries.
Galleries or images?
Okay, how about galleries? I'll put gallery, which of course would be a way to display lots of images.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, let's see. Somebody pick one because I'm overwhelmed. Oh, that's only page 1 of 85. Not very many of these, are there?
Well, do you know any of them?
Well, there was one for WordPress.
Pardon me?
I thought there was one that said WordPress in the title when you scroll back up.
Oh, well, they're all for WordPress, so.
Oh,
yeah.
It's 11 o'clock here, sorry.
Where are you?
I'm in Baltimore, Maryland.
Who is this?
This is Pamela, but I'm known as Pammy in your system.
Oh, hi. That's probably because your name on the roll sheet is Pammy, and so I probably created the account Pammy. Is that where you live, or do you live here in Santa Cruz?
Well, I'm from Santa Cruz, but my job transferred me out here for a while.
Oh, cool. Okay, well, welcome. So I'm just gonna pick one of these gallery Lightbox, just because Lightbox is fun. So I'm gonna say install now. The point is, I want you to know how to find and install plugins. So, and activate. I'm gonna activate it. So what I'd also like you to do is install 2 plugins. That's simple. I don't really care what they are. No, I don't want the pro version. I don't want to, and don't buy anything. Don't buy any upgrades. Don't buy any premium versions of themes or plugins. We're not asking you to purchase anything. There's enough free stuff here for the course that you can do it. Now, if you have a specific need for a website and there's a nice commercial plugin that's, you know, $30 and you want to spend it, that's fine. But for the purpose of this course, you don't have to do that. All right, so, and now this plugin has some configurations associated with it. It's basically a gallery and slideshow plugin. So Lightbox is a kind of a way that an image pops up when you roll over it. It might pop up on the screen bigger. This does a slideshow, 3-second intervals. So it's got some configuration options. But at any rate, I have just installed a plugin. If you, you know what? I don't even care if you actually use the plugin this week. I just want you to know how to find them and install them. Take a look at plugins. I realize it's getting later than I wanted to go for tonight. What time is it? It's already been 2 hours. Okay. We didn't take our break. I'm so sorry. So you know what? I'll go a few more minutes and stop because I want to stop for now. So here's what so let's recap. Okay. Play with themes, find a theme that's different, activate it, publish. Add a couple of images, add a few images to your image gallery. Edit or add at least 2 blog pages and 2 pages, and put a couple of images on them. Yeah, just use 2 images on, you know, 1 or more of the pages. Find and install a couple of plugins, at least 2 plugins. Yeah, that's what I want you to do right now. Not right now, but for this week.
Will this be due Friday? Will this all be due Friday? Oh, okay.
I mean, technically it would, but at Cabrillo, everything is so cattywampus. We have been advised, and your teachers for your other classes should be being lenient. Lenient is the word that's been used. I was in a faculty senate Zoom meeting for 2 hours just before this one. And the college is advising all the instructors to be easy on deadlines, easy on, you know, late work. So right now, all that's kind of out the window because this transition has happened so quickly for everybody. What I will be doing is I'm thinking 2 of these a week, okay? In some of them, I'm trying different things. In some of my other classes, we do 1 3-week session. Those are kind of long. And I think if I do 2 of these a week for like 1.5 or 2 hours, that might be enough to go through the basics. In addition, we can do other things that might work for you guys. I can do videos outside of the videos of the so-called classes, if on specific topics. Right now, I'm so overwhelmed that we're just videoing all our classes that we're doing, and those are becoming the classes. Right now I have 5 classes, 4 of which were not supposed to have been online classes, 3 of which I'm co-teaching, 3 of which I'm co-teaching, which might sound like less work, but it's actually more work to co-teach, believe me. So I've been, and my internet connection was down for days. So I'm just a little overwhelmed, catching up pretty well, but we're just a little behind, so I'm not going to worry about deadlines and you know what? starting next week, I'll put together a firmer schedule to go to the end of the semester. But right now, everybody's being really easy on deadlines. You should find that in all your classes. Your teachers are not supposed to be, pardon the expression, hard asses right now. So,
So the feedback form for exercise 2 is not going to expire before midnight on Friday
oh,
night?
you know what? The feedback forms, I haven't even activated them at all. So don't even worry about them. Not because they're normally, for those, Debbie's talking about the way I usually do deadlines is I have you fill out an online form after you do your work that just kind of tells me you've done it and that it's ready to be looked at. And those forms expire after the deadline that it's due. I'm not going to worry about that right now because we're not worrying about deadlines this week. So this was kind of a very general overview. I want you to get your feet wet. I want you to play with your WordPress installation. You can go above and beyond what we talked about today. But remember right now, I just want you to be aware of how to install and use themes, how to create or modify, very basically modify existing pages and or posts and add new ones or modify existing ones, how to add images to the library, how to add images to your pages, how to find and install plugins that you might wish to use. I think that's enough for this part of the week. I will add a few more things later in the week for this week's work. Starting next week, we'll talk about firmer deadlines. I'm not worrying about them right now. But I wanted to get people up and running with their WordPress installations. By no means do you have to limit yourself to what we just covered. Play with it. You're not going to really hurt too much. And if you really completely bazonker out something, I can reinstall your WordPress installation or just put a new one in for you. But that won't be necessary because you can totally customize all this yourself and blow things out and change them. There's a caveat. I did have one student once in a WordPress class who I don't know how she did it, but she installed an anti-spam plugin, right? And somehow she made the controls on the anti-spam plugin so restrictive that she blocked herself from being able to edit her pages. Somehow she configured this anti-spam plugin to lock herself essentially out of her own WordPress. And I had to go in and fix it. But that was the only time it's ever happened where somebody actually completely broke something by experimenting. So by all means, experiment and play. By the way, the chat window, before I forget to remind you, the chat window can be saved. Once I end the meeting, you can't save the chat window. So if you, my throat's a little dry. If you do want to, wait, I gotta get a little water. If you do want to save the contents of the chat window, click on the 3 dots at the bottom of it. Save it now, because it will go away. Because there's a couple of links in there you might want. Okay, so I'm going to, there's only one video because we forgot to take our break and you guys just let me keep talking. I don't know why you did that. Debbie, you should have reminded me. You know we're supposed to go an hour and take a break.
Oh, okay.
Lakshmana, you should have let me know. You know we're supposed to. Anyway.
See your time monitor next time.
Anyway.
So where is that saved? Chat window? Where is the chat window saved?
Okay, so when you click on the 3 dots,
yeah.
Okay, and you say save chat,
yeah.
Then you see show in Finder right above it where it says chat saved. It'll only show for about 5 seconds. And you have to click on show in Finder and that shows you where it saved it. Usually it puts it in a folder on your desktop. And if you
save in documents,
does Windows put in documents? Because the Mac seems to put it on the desktop, but it might be a function of a setting that is in my Zoom somewhere that says put it on the desktop. But the thing is, if you click on the 3 dots and you click on save, you can just do it again if you forget. And then it'll say show in Finder for about 5 seconds. Just click on show in Finder and it'll show you where it is.
John, can I just ask 2 quick questions before we go?
Of course. Who is this?
Okay,
Pam?
this is Pamela, thanks.
Hi, Pamela.
Hey, I was wondering, one, if you said plugins can break the WordPress site, would we want to install them one by one so we know which one would be, the culprit? And two, for the text editor, I'm taking Professor Blumenau's course where we're learning HTML and Notepad for me, but is that something I'll have to do for this course too?
Let me take okay, so the first question, generally speaking, when you activate, you can install plugins without activating them. So,
Okay.
So let's talk about terminology. So just like you can install themes without activating them, just like you can install images into your media library without using them. So
Okay.
install doesn't mean the same thing as use. So I just want to talk about terminology. So you can install plugins that you think you might want to use. So you can go through, experiment, find a few plugins, install them, but don't activate them all at the same time. So you can install a bunch at the same time, but then you can activate them one by one and test them out. They generally aren't going to break anything. It's rare, but sometimes a certain plugin will not be compatible with a certain theme. And it might not necessarily break it, but it might say it won't work with a theme, or it might actually break a page. That doesn't happen too often. So don't worry too much about breaking something, because if you install a plugin and you try to use it and something breaks, you go back in your dashboard and you uninstall. You can actually delete the plugin, not just deactivate it. You can deactivate it and delete the sucker if you don't think you're going to use it. That was the first question. I forgot. What was the second question? I forgot.
Oh, the second question was, tonight we didn't use a text editor, and I only know Notepad, and I don't know it that well because I'm just learning it this semester.
Oh, I see what you're saying now. No, we're actually going to, when I say text editor, I mean the text editor built into WordPress.
Oh, okay.
Right. So you don't use an outside text editor with WordPress. I mean, you could and then paste it into the WordPress text editor. But when I say text editor, this is when you go to posts or pages and you go to edit a post or add a new one. So if I go to all posts and I look at what I have, and then I say edit here when I'm viewing this list of my posts, this puts me into the WordPress text editor. And that's what thank you for that. I didn't realize that. Yeah, sorry about the confusion. I'm waiting for the editor window to come back up. It's trying. There it is. So this here right now, what I'm in right now, when I click here, I'm in the WordPress text editor. So you're not. So you can do your text editing in Notepad and copy and paste text into this, but this is the place where WordPress takes the information from.
Okay, great. Thank you.
So it's a little different than HTML.
Definitely.
And you won't see the HTML.
I'm fine with that.
Yeah. However, you can. Well, you know what? That's a future class. You can actually go in and tweak HTML and CSS, but that's a little above and beyond for tonight. But I'm a hand coder. I've taught HTML hand coding since the 90s. I love HTML and CSS.
It's just if you miss one letter, it throws off everything. So if you're really tired, that's the problem.
That's how code works. That is right. Typo. I have an expression. Typos will kill you in this business, and they certainly will.
Yes.
Yeah. And by the way, maybe I shouldn't show you this yet. Should I show you? Okay. I'm going to show you something, but I don't want you to do it. But those of you who know coding, if you go to Appearance and you go down here to Theme Editor, now we're talking plumbing. And I'm waiting for this to. I'm waiting for it to load. I clicked on it 10 seconds ago. Anyway, you can actually go in and edit the. Yeah, see, now here's the warning. Warning: you can really screw up your site right now. So don't do this at home, kids. But if you know style sheets, you can see this is the style sheet for the site. And you generally don't want to mess with it unless you know what you're doing.
Right.
I know what I'm doing, but you don't. And even if you know what you're doing, you can still break things because the themes are such a package deal that when you start editing them, you have to be careful. But anyway, so there are ways to get under the hood in WordPress, and that's one of them. We can go right into the style sheet and start changing things. I don't recommend you do that. There are other ways to customize without going right to the source like that.
Okay.
But when you learn coding, it does help you with WordPress because there are things you can do that you couldn't do if you don't know how to code. And so I think I'm gonna stop there for now.
If you drastically broke something, could you just reload it?
If you save it first.
I mean, if you totally broke it, could you just go back to your original theme and just start over?
Well, that would be, yes, you could, but that would blow out everything you had done. You'd be starting fresh.
But if you went down there and started changing things and completely blew it up, you could.
Yeah, you could really break your site, and then if you can't figure out how to undo it, you could literally blow the whole thing out. Yes, you would just have to change your theme, and then you would lose a lot of your customizations that you had done in your previous theme.
Okay.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So John, moving forward, if we can't always make the times of these sessions, it's okay as long as we can watch them later, right? We won't lose participation or anything.
Right, and that's why I'm recording this, and I thought I was recording it. I don't see my little record button. Oh, because I'm sharing my screen. Let me unshare my screen for a second here. Yeah, we're recording. Oh, hi everybody. Now I can see more people at the same time. I'm in gallery view. It's interesting that you brought that up because today in the Faculty Senate meeting, we talked about this very topic of what they call asynchronous versus synchronous courses. So just to let you know what's happening at Cabrillo and everywhere right now, Cabrillo is in a kind of a state of crisis on multiple levels. You may have felt some of that. You may be in other classes that are as disorganized as this one feels to me right now. I'm usually very organized, and some of my previous students here can attest to that, right guys? But I'm a little scrambling right now because of the situation that we're all in on a variety of levels. But Cabrillo is in a pretty big world of hurt right now because not only because of the whole COVID thing, but because the budget cuts are immense right now. The state is cutting our budget by a lot, and not just Cabrillo. And everybody is like, we're super nervous. The budget cuts that are coming down the pike are huge. Combined with the COVID crisis and the flip of a switch to put everything online when no one was ready to do that, teachers and students, everybody's freaked out. Anybody who's been in California for a while may remember the big recession we had some years ago where there were major cuts at Cabrillo and everywhere. Yeah. The cuts we're looking at now for the immediate next year or two are beyond that level of magnitude. So it's going to be bad after next semester. We've already cut a lot for the summer. We've already cut a lot for the fall. No one even knows right now. You can imagine how a school can plan without knowing whether or not in the fall all our classes have to be online or not. We don't even know that yet, and yet we have to plan, and we have to publish the schedule, and we have to figure out what are we doing. So you can imagine the confusion everybody's in. It's really, I've taught at Cabrillo for over 20 years, and this is off the charts bizarre. I mean, we're all in a new situation. You know, teachers, students, the administration. We're all in a completely unfamiliar environment on multiple levels, and nobody knows how this is going to play out. We may be online for the next year. Maybe we'll be able to have classes in the fall that aren't online. I can tell you right now, nobody knows the answer to that question, but it's sure looking like we're going to be online in the fall. How do you teach art classes and physical education classes online? And I mean, like, everybody's freaking out about how to do all this. Lab classes and the sciences, how do you teach anatomy without looking at cadavers? I mean, you can imagine there are so many levels to this crisis. And on top of it, there's a budget crisis, which is exacerbating the crisis we're in. So the budget crisis was already in progress when the COVID crisis hit. And it's going to be really an interesting year. No one knows what's going to happen. And online classes, not only did everybody have to switch to online classes in like a week's time, which is ridiculous, especially if you teach multiple classes, like I have 5 classes. Not only is that ridiculous in and of itself, but online classes were always meant to be taught with support systems in place. I'm talking about the library, the hub, the STEM center, you know, the CTC, the TLC, all the physical support centers for students and faculty where they could come in and use computers and use software and get tutoring and get hands-on help and turn in work on paper or whatever, you know. And not only did everything shift to online, but all those support services went online as well. Online teaching was never supposed to be this online. So everybody, even classes that were supposed to be online, are kind of flipped out right now. So be patient with your other students, be patient with your teachers, be patient with Cabrillo. We're all scrambling. And by the way, not only are teachers relaxing deadlines for homework, other deadlines, the state is relaxing right now. So the Chancellor's Office just recently issued guidelines to the community colleges. For example, the deadline to declare whether or not you want to take a class for pass, no pass has been extended to the end of this month. So the end of April.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah, so I was going to announce that, you know, pretty soon. I'm working on an email to outline all these changes that are going on. We're all doing the same thing right now. We're all freaking out. But so everything is in a bit of an uproar. Some of the schools, like the schools that a lot of people transfer from Cabrillo to you know, San Jose State or whatever, their standards are there's a lot of temporary changes in place so that they may be more accepting of pass no pass units for transfers than they would have before the crisis, because now everything's flipped around. So we're still gathering all this information and figuring out how it all impacts everybody. So there's so much change happening right now that I can't even, you know. And then, by the way, I'm very involved in Cabrillo College. If you don't know me, I'm kind of super involved in the whole college on multiple levels, because I am a vice president of the faculty union. I am secretary of the faculty senate. I'm on the negotiating team for the union. I'm on various committees for Cabrillo that deal with all kinds of stuff. I'm in these emergency type meetings almost all the time at this point. I mean, I'm going from Zoom meeting to Zoom meeting because of all the things that are going on. So everybody's kind of in the same boat. We're all like feeling our way in this new world. Even if you've taught online before, this whole environment is still screwy. And if you haven't taken online classes before, this is kind of like a wow, a trial by fire. It wasn't supposed to be this way for everybody. So,
interesting for studio classes.
Pardon me, Ann?
Taking a studio art classes, it's really interesting.
Yeah, I don't even know how they're going to teach some of these classes. And that's
what large sculpture. I have large sculpture.
And you do that online?
Yeah.
And I bet they're still trying to figure out how to make that work.
No, we figured it out right away. We're dealing with Andy Goldsworthy.
Really?
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Go take a walk and study Andy Goldsworthy.
I know that Foothill just sent out their student email, because I registered for Foothill class many years ago, so I still get all their email to students. And they're like, we're doing everything's online. PE classes, art classes, they're all online. I'm like, how do you do PE classes online? How do you do, I mean, like, it's just, you know, mind-boggling. At any rate, there was a phrase that came up.
Thank you for explaining that to us so we know what the issues are that everybody's dealing with.
Who said that? I can't tell you.
Oh, it's Pamela. I just said thank you for helping us understand. Hey.
Yeah, I mean it's Looney Tunes. It's crazy, and everybody is just on all cylinders, trying to scramble. I can't even explain the level of uncertainty. The uncertainty is the big factor because nobody know, we have to plan, a year out. We have to plan
Right.
how classes are going to work a year out. Well, if the student takes this class, that leads to that class, but that's the prereq for that class, but that's the co-req for that class. What if they need that to transfer? We have to figure all that stuff a year out. Then all of a sudden, everything's thrown into an uproar. Oh,
Right.
it's only online now. And all of a sudden, we can't do that because we can't do that. And that's different. And oh my God, the standards are, everybody is completely at their wit's end. And of course, everybody, including you all and me in our personal lives, this is all completely wonky. This is a pretty unprecedented, completely unprecedented situation in so many levels. There's no playbook for a lot of this stuff. So when they talk about how to reopen the country and how to ease social distancing, nobody knows. It hasn't been done before. This hasn't been done
What's
before.
really amazing is Payson's been using all the 3D printers and the laser cutters, and he's been churning out shields like crazy. He's made
Shields and
thousands.
masks, I saw that.
Yeah, shields and masks. He's done like thousands of shields. So Cabrillo is donating thousands of shields.
Yeah, and that's what's going on all over the country. It's kind of, it's inspiring and scary at the same time, what's happening. But all I can say is that's just a prelude to say the course will become a little more regimented, less crazy, I should say. I'm just scrambling to catch up to everything. So thank you for your patience. But it's been a bit of a nightmare the last couple of weeks for everybody, I think. And it's going to be this way for a while.
Right.
I can't see how in the fall we're not going to still be mostly online, if not fully online. Nobody knows how this is going to play out. And so we're all trying to figure out how to deal. This summer it was already decided everything's online. We'll have to cut a lot of stuff because of the budget, blah, blah, blah. The fall, they're kind of hoping it won't all be online, but planning for the fact that it may be. And you can imagine how complicated that can be.
Yeah.
What I'll be doing is I'll be doing these classes, and I think twice a week, and I'll try like different times to catch different people's schedules, but you're not going to be able to, nobody's going to make all the meetings, all the quote meetings. So they'll all be videoed and posted, within a day. I'll try to post them that day. And this one will probably be posted late tonight or tomorrow morning because I'm still posting from my earlier class right now. Because it takes a while to upload these to YouTube. So I do apologize for all the craziness on my own behalf and for Cabrillo College in general, because we're all in a situation that we've not been in before. I think we can all say that. And it's pretty serious and it's pretty scary. My girlfriend knows 2 people that already died from the virus over in San Jose.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, this is a real thing. And everybody has to kind of just be like, be on your game. This is unprecedented stuff.
Yeah.
And so we've been given, as teachers, we've been given very explicit instructions to be lenient, to be easy on deadlines. There are reports of some instructors that are still being really hard about deadlines, but the administration is saying, we want to make this as easy as possible without, loosey-goosey standards, but we need to be a little more understanding and compassionate than just saying, oh, you missed the deadline, sorry, you lost the points. So I'm not doing that, and nobody should be doing that in your other classes, I hope. Just be easy on people right now, because everybody is really stressed out. And we have a lot of students who didn't sign up for this, don't have internet connections at home, can't afford to buy equipment. It's a kind of a pretty serious thing. The college is really freaked out right now about how to help everybody. I just found out today there's some federal grant money that Cabrillo's getting, a couple $1 million, and they're going to be announcing student grant programs pretty soon, so be on the lookout for that. They're trying all kinds of things to help students with whatever they need. So if you need something, let me know. this course is my only one where actually students signed up for an online course. My other 4 courses, students didn't sign up to be online. And you can imagine we've lost some of them. Some of them don't like online, some of them can't do online, some of them don't have the wherewithal. Their home situation doesn't allow them to do it. It's a mixed bag. So you guys are actually, you're in a little better situation because you were expecting perhaps or understand how online classes work, or at least you were ready for it. A lot of students weren't ready for this. A lot of teachers weren't ready for this. And it's straining everybody right now. So I just want to kind of put that message out that be nice to each other, be safe. It's a real thing. This is a dangerous thing. You know, the social distancing is a real thing. Don't take it lightly. You know, just try to minimize contact with other people, because even if you're not going to get sick, you can spread it. You know, my sister's, my mother's, my girlfriend's mother is like 80 something, and you know, we're trying not to even visit her that much because anybody could be a carrier. Beth regards, my co-teacher in some other classes, bless her heart, she's 80 years old, and you know, she's like not allowed to leave the house. You are not allowed to leave the house.
I had Beth for DM1, yeah.
Mm-hmm. And Beth hasn't really, the online teaching thing doesn't come easy to her. And since I'm co-teaching 3 classes with her, you can imagine it's been kind of interesting. It's taken me hours just to get her up to speed on Zoom. So,
You're earning lots of karmic credit then.
yeah. So I apologize for forgetting the break. I didn't really want to go over 2 hours straight. But I think, but I think we're going to stop there. And the main thing for this week is play with it. Play with it. I will be issuing more things I'm going to ask you to do later in the week. But for now, do those things I just asked you to do. Check the Teacher John site tomorrow, and the exercise will be a little more it'll be in final form tomorrow. But
Thanks, John.
And stay safe. Okay.
You too. Thank you.
Thank you all for showing up. But before you leave, before you leave, I just want to see who's here.
Bob was here earlier.
Who was?
I have a question.
Bob was here. Yeah.
There were a lot more people before.
Bob and then Catherine had to sign off, I think, too.
It's like super late or something.
Okay, Bob and Catherine.
Half the people signed off.
That's yeah. I forgot to take roll. I just took a screenshot of the participants window, but some people have already left. So I just want to know who I need to contact who's not being able to attend. Okay, so folks, again, save the chat window if you wish before it goes away by clicking on the 3 dots.
Wait a second.
And
I have a question.
Yes, last question.
Yeah, are you gonna give us a password and username for the WordPress, or do we have to make our own account?
Oh, can you log into your WordPress account? Did you come in late? Where'd she go?
Yes, she must have come in late.
Where'd she go? Did she just leave?
Oh dear.
I didn't do. Oh, there you are. Hi. You moved. You're in a different square. Hi. Did you come in late because we talked after we talked about that? Oh, I think you're muted. Wait. Let me unmute you.
Good night.
I'm sorry.
Goodbye.
Okay.
Thank you.
Brian.
Bye.
Thank you so much for doing
Let me stop the recording, and then I'll answer your question about the passwords, because I just want to.
Good night, everyone.
Bye, everybody.